Guessing we are live. Let this run a couple more minutes, just because. Um, because. I'm gonna make sure everything's situated here. Yeah. So just hopping on, guys, real quick. On the live stream because I remembered what my topic was for this morning. I remembered. And it was, if this pops up, I'm gonna share it real quick. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. So what I wanted to share with everyone is, sorry, that's the dog. I don't know if you can hear him. We'll share with you the property tax report. You should have got this already, and I got mine. Mine's the Fort Bend appraisal district. I have some clients and friends that are in Harris County. They've gotten theirs already. So they did say, at least for Bend, there is no provisions to, for protest purposes to reduce your property value due to COVID-19. Sometimes they'll do this in the event of a national disaster. You can claim temporary relief. Just means you lower your property taxes temporarily for 1 year. And let me go and see if HCAD has anything for their stuff. They probably don't. So most offices are closed. Actually, the offices are closed. So any disputes, anything like that, if you're going to file homestead, it has to be done all online. Let's see here. Okay, so looks like deadlines are going to be May 15th for Harris County and for Bend. And I know for sure Harris County has a online iFile system for tax protests, and I will have a video coming up in regards to that, how to do that. It's very easy, very straightforward. I go into detail, in depth on not only the application online, but what to consider when you're protesting. I will touch bases on that real quick in this video, which is why I wanted to make this video. But that is what this is about. So, what do we have here? So, okay. This Forband. Okay, so let's look at the Forband process. I know Harris County is very easy. The hardest part is making your owner's account to log in to hcad.org. I believe the site is owners.hcad.org. Fort Bend It's going to be fcad.org. Okay, let's see here. So we have instructions for Fort Bend. So I'll make a separate video for Fort Bend, filing Fort Bend tax protests, and I'll touch bases on the importance of reading your tax protest. And one of the reasons that I would want to for you to reach out with me personally, text me. That's the best way. Shoot me a text, because what happens is, you get your tax protest, whether you pay attention to it or not. I highly recommend reviewing it, just because this is going to affect your monthly payment. So this can cause it to go higher due to a higher appraised value for your taxes. So my easiest example that I would explain is, let's just say you just bought your house for $200,000, and then the tax appraisal will come in. We'll just use this as an example. Tax appraisal came in at $201,000, and then let's just say I bought it for $200,000. In this scenario, I could protest $1,000 in appraised value. So then the appraised value should be $200 because I paid $200 for it. So that is one of the reasons to protest it. Now, normally, personally, I would not dispute that, just because taxes can, you have to prove it. You have to have good reason to prove it. You have to submit supporting documents that support you. And that would be market value. That, the reason would be like you were overtaxed over market value, and then you would show your settlement statement showing what you paid for it. And it has to be recent. It can't be a 10-year-old settlement statement. And the reason I would say, if you paid less than what you're getting taxed, it's worth it. If it's less, if they're already billing you less than what you paid for, don't mess with it. Personally, I'm not a professional tax protest, but just in my time in real estate, by the way, my name is George, and I'm a Houston realtor, by the way. Did not introduce myself in the beginning. So what happens with the protest is, since you have to submit your data, personally, I think it's a gamble if they undertaxed you and then you are trying to go even lower. So that's just my advice. If you're paying someone to do it and then they're advising it, hey, by all means, go with what the professional's saying. But just personally, me, especially if you're going to be doing this yourself, which you can, it is free to do it by yourself, is consider if the appraised value that's in the mail is higher than what you paid for it. Or say you've been in the house, been in the house more than a couple of years, so that argument isn't valid anymore, but you're not sure if you should protest it. Reach out to me. I will give you a quick market analysis, and then you can use that to decide if it's worth it or not. So let's just say in your neighborhood, values have gone up tremendously, but the appraised value has not. Again, same thing. Probably not worth messing with it. If you were to go do this and protest it yourself, the chances of them increasing your taxes are substantially higher, especially if you're showing them some really questionable home values, because you have to show evidence to support your claim because you're protesting it. Now, that's quickly just what I wanted to say as far as that is my dog yawning in the back. I don't know if you can hear him. So anyways, that's basically what I wanted to say. Just when it comes to doing these tax protests, I highly encourage for sure, at the minimum, review your bill. That way you know that your escrow account, if it's going to be short or not. Very common for your escrow to be short, and then you'll know why your payment's going higher. Especially if it's over billed, you definitely want to take that into account, protest it, bring it down. Again, that will keep your payment relatively close to what it should be or originally was. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks again. Again, I'm going to be making a more detailed, or actually I already made it, I have to edit it, a more detailed video regarding applying for the Harris County iFile system, which is really easy to do. And then I'll make one for the Fort Bend version. So take a look at that, guys. If you haven't got it in the mail, you should be getting it in the mail pretty soon. Have a good one, guys, and have a great day. Peace. Happy Taco Tuesday.